Viewers, there's enough evidence to believe Trump may be assembling the most pro-India cabinet in American history. Trump's incoming team is full of leaders who've been positive towards India. In many cases, they are also steadfastly against the democratic establishment's historic championing of Pakistan, irrespective of the amount of terrorism it exports. We have Marco Rubio as the next Secretary of State and Vivek Ramaswamy, who's been very clear in talking about his Indian heritage. But the most important appointment, viewers, the cherry on the cake, the jewel in the crown, is undoubtedly Tulsi Gabbard. You'll be somewhat surprised to know that Tulsi is not one of the millions of Indian origin Americans. In fact, she's not believed to have any Indian roots. She is, however, because of her mother, a proud and practicing Hindu, a person who openly flaunts a belief in Bhagavad Gita and doesn't shirk from upholding her Hindu faith. From singing Krishna bhajans to openly speaking up against attacks on Hindus, Tulsi has made her stand clear. She is going to be the US spy chief, the director of the national intelligence. This means, viewers, the two biggest intelligence agencies in America, the CIA and the NSA, will both report to her, just like all the other intel agencies. It's a powerful and often overactive spy apparatus and an onerous task, and its significance cannot be played down, including and especially for India. And it's not as though Tulsi does not have her own stars from battle. A certain section has frowned upon Tulsi Gabbard for being a Hindu and for making it a point to meet PM Modi whenever she can. She's been called the princess of the RSS in the US. Yes, ridiculed as an American Sanghi. For the most part, this happened despite her being a Democrat till recently. But Tulsi Gabbard is completely undaunted, her Sanatan faith impermeable, and her willingness to engage with Indians absolute. And this, viewers, leads us to a history-making moment and realization in the day and age of Hindu baiting and woke separatism-fueled Hindu phobia. Could Tulsi Gabbard be our first true Sanatan shield in Washington, D.C.?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
You will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter. So help you God.
I do.
मैं आपका बहुत आभारी हूँ आपने बहुत बढ़िया ये वीडियो संदेश दिया
Modi, of course, back in 2002 was the chief minister of Gujarat, and many consider him to be complicit in the deadly 02 Gujarat riots.
Do you know what instigated those riots?
Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Let's open this up. Tushar Gupta stays on. Hindol Sen Gupta, author, historian, joins the panel. Vivek Srivastav, Lokesh Jindal stay on. Vivek, what do you make of this appointment?
It's lousy. It is useless. I don't like Donald Trump. और आप देखेंगे आने वाले समय में H-1B visa is going to be scrapped off. It is going to, if it remains, it will be so difficult. Indian IT professionals will suffer. Education visas anyway will be reduced. All this is just a big drama and nothing else. Mr. Donald Trump hates Indians. In his last 4 years, when he was the president of India, all his policies were totally anti-Indian. Please check the visa rules.
No, one minute, Vivek Srivastav.
And Mr. Ramaswamy.
I am not asking you about Trump.
No,
that the Americans have decided and voted him. 1 minute, Vivek Srivastav.
Yeah.
I am asking you about Tulsi Gabbard.
Yes, yes.
She's American, yes. But she's a devout Hindu.
Yes, yes. All this Hare Rama, Hare... Yeah, I mean, she could... So what? Hare
no,
Rama,
all
Hare
this
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, what?
I mean, on your channel, ISKCON was... No, listen. In your channel, the ISKCON Guru Amogh Leela Prabhu was invited. On your channel, there was an interaction. I asked him a simple, straight question. 1,000 cases of child abuse in the 70s and the 80s. And $400 million had to be paid as compensation. And the ISKCON responded and apologized. So don't teach me Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Don't get religion into
there
duties.
You go.
And Mr. Ramaswamy, whom Donald Trump has appointed, is totally anti-Indian.
Okay.
And he wants to throw out the Indian immigrants out of America.
Hindol,
so
Hindol,
don't teach me.
I am not surprised. I don't know what you think about what Vivek just said.
May I just say that I do not respond to lunatics, but as the only outside scholar from outside ISKCON who's wrote the biography of Srila Prabhupada, let me just say that indeed Tulsi Gabbard being appointed is fundamentally a good thing for the future of India and US relations. I want to also point out, Pranesh, that also remember Mike Waltz, who was the head of the India caucus, has been appointed the National Security Advisor to Donald Trump.
That's right.
I think this combination of Tulsi Gabbard, Mike Waltz, Vivek Ramaswamy, this is a very potent combination that's coming together. And I want to highlight that it's coming together at a particular point. Look, Trump may raise some tariffs. There may be some, structuring of visas. All this is regular diplomatic fare. But there was, on issues like Khalistan, on issues like conversions, on issues like constant attacks on India, on issues like minority, trumping up so-called minority abuses, all kinds of issues. There was a climate of distrust that was growing, which was being fueled by certain kinds of politicians in America, which was impacting the fundamentals of the India-US ties. I think that noise, which was becoming fundamentally detrimental, will now perhaps cease. The other very important thing, Pranesh, remember the Khalistan issue is far from over. And this was being fueled by certain malactors within the US administration. At the end of the day, Canada and Justin Trudeau does what America tells them to do. Now, with the change of government, I do think you will also see on the Khalistan issue positive moves forward. We were reaching a particularly climactic moment of rhetoric between the two countries, which I think will now pause, and some new kinds of rhetoric, positive rhetoric will emerge. I also think, let me just say this, Tulsi Gabbard is a politician of the future. Let me say this today. I would not be surprised if one day, not far away, Tulsi Gabbard becomes the first woman president of the United States of America. I would not be surprised at all. There will be many malactors shouting against her, but they're a minority voice, they don't count. Tulsi Gabbard is an exceptional politician. She's a veteran. She actually fought for America in wars. She has a very
You're
strong
calling her exceptional, Hindol. The trouble is that many, even in this panel, believe she's an American Sanghi. Lokesh, what do you think of Tulsi Gabbard?
Pranesh, there is no direct connection of Tulsi Gabbard with being an Indian. Her parents are not Indians. The lineage is not Indian. Just because her mother converted herself to Hinduism, why are we linking her to be Indian? I mean, why can't we separate?
I'm not. I never said that she's Indian. 1 minute. I said she's a devout Hindu. She's a proud son. 1 minute. She took oath on Bhagavad Gita. People of India Alliance have equated Sanatan with leprosy, AIDS, and whatnot. Look at Tulsi Gabbard. Learn a lesson or two.
No, you need to learn a lesson from America. Irrespective of a person's religion, irrespective of a person's belief, the person is accommodated into the state administration, machinery, and accorded position as per the talent. So we need to learn something. We need to get out of this form of a mindset, this form of a toxicity, and need to understand that democratic apparatus involves understanding a person rather than highlighting a person's religion.
Yeah, let's get out of this mindset. Don't ask for reservation. Lokesh, bata dijiye, declare kar dijiye. Let's get out of the mindset. Ab bol dijiye Vivek Srivastava will leave the show in protest.
You think there are no reservations in US? You think there is no reservation in US? Positive discrimination requires reservation. There is very much reservation that is there in US, and the very concept of reservation came from US. You need to understand this.
Tushar.
I don't know, Pranesh, how much more I can take. But I can only expect two regressive men to reduce a woman's identity to her religion. Lokesh Jindal talks about her talent. Does he remember she was a Democrat? She ran the primaries against Kamala Harris. A viral clip where she exposes Kamala Harris's hypocrisy, which is after she left, which is before she left the Democratic Party, and now she's a part of the Republican government. But the people who go for jitni abadi utna haq, reservation को 50% से ऊपर बढ़ाएंगे, talent की बात करते हैं. The man who represents a politician who has lost 3 consecutive national elections, given Congress its worst tally in its existence since independence, is talking about talent, is talking about merit. It's only hypocrisy. But I'll tell you the larger picture here, Pranesh. Let's not get reduced to what these men are trying to portray here. Her position on Ukraine has been very interesting since day one. Her position on Russia, how she's defined it, how she's defined the entire conflict, has been very interesting. And it also gets to show the kind of people the Trump administration will have going forward. You combine it with the other appointments. Of course, there is a certain Hindu overtone to it, but I'm more interested in Tulsi Gabbard's position on issues like Russia, Ukraine, on issues of national security, on issues of domestic security. So I think that is where she's made the cut. Nothing to do with her religion, but yes, once and for all, the Indians here, so a couple of Indians here are brothers. They can learn how a self-respecting Hindu can also make it big in the US as they can in India, as they can anywhere.
Okay. I don't know, whether Vivek or Lokesh agree with what you and Hindol said, but, we saw and heard what Vivek said, compared ISKCON, how easy it was for him to do that. And there is a pattern you saw in the first debate, viewers. Began with satsang and ended with dhoti. For hijab is the symbol of empowerment. So there you go. I leave it for you to judge. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on India Upfront, the news hour with Navika Kumar on the other side.